Football contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching? This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
It's Sports by the Book at the South Point Studio. Here's Jeff Parles and Alex White.
Welcome in. It is a Friday edition of Sports by the Book, and it's not only just Friday, it's August. We've made it. We've made it. Let's all applaud. It's August 1st here, right on the dot. I'm Jeff Parles. She's Alex White. Before we get fully into the show, and of course Fridays always special here, but even more special here today, the numbers out momentarily upstairs if they're not already out. The college football games of the year here at the South Point. Go to the window if you're upstairs. Chris and company will be taking bets on these games front and back on the sheet. Some yellow, some black, and some green. And Chris Andrews will be in here in 29 minutes from now to discuss them with us, Alex.
And we're excited. Of course, August, that means, we were dabbling, getting ready for football, but now you just hit the ground running. College football, NFL. Of course, the NFL contest is live here at South Point as well. You just bet the winners. Nice little ticket there, $5. And then the big contest around town. And that's what we want to start with here because today's show is sponsored by footballcontest.com, as all of our Fridays are. So if you are going to enter any Vegas football contest this summer, you got to go with the pros. Experience matters. Visit proxy.footballcontest.com. Use the promo code ALEX, ALEX, and you will get a special offer from Maddie and Tony. It's the month to do it. As I mentioned, you got to get in all your contests, got to get all your prep work done. Games of the year are out. We're excited. We had a Hall of Fame game last night as well, Jeff. So here we are. You're right. We made it.
Buy your Trey Lance stock, everybody. Buy it right now. No, don't go crazy. But he did look a lot better than I would have imagined in what was truly an awful football game. We did go over, and the Chargers won by a lot. So that was all you had. And everyone was betting Detroit yesterday.
That's right. Except for first half, right?
Yeah, well,
we did say.
Yeah, but still, it didn't matter what you had on Detroit last night. You lost. Neither of us had anything. So that was good on our end. And we didn't even really get to see DJ Uyunglele because they just left Lansing longer because of how well he played last night. So everyone did not have the opportunity to fade DJU like we would have hoped last night. All right, baseball. Alex, before we get into the games today, just real quick, the deadline is come and gone. And really, I'll just say this. I think the biggest takeaway from the deadline is that you are now you had three teams at the deadline go super uber aggressive in trying to build out mega bullpens. We talked about the Padres yesterday. The Mason Miller deal had just come down before we went on the air yesterday. They had already a bullpen that features 3 All-Stars.
Yep.
The Mets, we had talked about adding Helsley and Rogers and then Gregory Soto earlier to, again, a team that lacked starting depth. They didn't make a trade for a starter, but they add to their bullpen. And then the Yankees, I really just quiet the whole week through, just a few arms, or a few bats, I should say. Nothing spectacular. And then in the last 2 hours, they trade for Jake Bird, who's been Colorado's best player this year out of the bullpen, just in general, but comes out of the bullpen. They trade for David Bednar, Pittsburgh's best reliever and one of the best relievers in the NL when he's right. And then, because of the Giants' fire sale, not quite a Twins fire sale, but the Giants sold a lot of pieces.
Yes.
Camilo Duvall comes over to the Yankees. So the Yankees now have 5 high-end, high-leverage relievers to that bullpen. Again, a team without starting depth as well. Again, it's been a decade since the Kansas City Royals won a World Series with this strategy of, hey, we're going to get to the 5th inning with the lead, and then good luck. Try beating our big-time arms out of the bullpen. And you have 3 teams that are going to try that formula. San Diego and both New York teams are going to try that formula. More likely, all 3 of them will be in the postseason. But that's going to be the way it's going to be with these teams when they get there, Alex.
And I really can't blame them. I just think that in this day and age, with what we can see from these pitchers, and especially out of the bullpen, and they can really be lights out. The other thing is you really need depth. I mean, look at the Mariners last night. Already one of their guys was injured.
Yeah, Trent Thornton probably ruptured his Achilles last night.
So you do need that depth there too. And I do like the moves that they made. Man, I think the Padres, they really stepped up and made a lot of moves there.
Well, I didn't even mention with the Padres, the other move that came down after our show, which might have actually been my favorite move from San Diego, was they go to Baltimore. Ramon Laureano, all right, helps your outfield depth. He's having a really good year, but boy, Ryan O'Hearn.
Yep.
Ryan O'Hearn's a big-time pickup for a team that really needed that power left-handed bat. O'Hearn's having the best year of his career, was an all-star in Baltimore. You see here at the South Point, the Padres have been moved down to the second favorite with the Houston Astros now, here to win the whole thing. Again, it's, as you can see, it is super compact. From Toronto on up, it's basically a whole collection of 10-1 or shorter. And then the Dodgers, of course, are still big favorites. I didn't love the Dodgers deadline by any stretch. Alex Call, the biggest bat that they added, the guy, one of the Minnesota bullpen guys that goes over as well. But again, I really think also, real quick, Carlos Correa goes back to Houston. Right. The Astros making a big splash. They also got Jesus Sanchez from Miami, who is a nice outfield bat as well. I was disappointed in what Detroit did. I would have liked to have seen more from Philly, but getting Duran was a big deal. And in the end, the NL Central teams end up disappointing the most of everyone here at the deadline. We knew Milwaukee wasn't going to do much, just not how they operate. Boy, the Cubs' best acquisition is Willie Castro. Your best starting, your best pitching piece is Soroka or Kittredge, depending on who you like better. And in NL, where the Padres and the Mets are clearly better today. Mets also added Cedric Mullins yesterday afternoon. The Mets and the Padres are clearly better today than they were on Tuesday afternoon. The Cubs, I can't say they're discernibly better. The Brewers are not better. And the Dodgers, look, the Dodgers are a superpower in their own right, but the Mets and the Padres clearly got better. And the other teams did not clearly get better.
An already stacked National League, right? And we've been talking about it and this race and coming down to the end. And we'll see. You've talked about a lot too, how important it is to get those 1 and 2 seeds. So I think a lot of these trades could really impact that moving forward. Pretty surprising the Rangers, of all teams, get, in my opinion, the best starting pitcher that was out there in Merrill Kelly. So that was a lot there.
Yeah, and Merrill Kelly, you mentioned Merrill Kelly. He goes to Texas.
Yeah.
Gallen didn't get traded. He was really of the Arizona pieces, Gallen was the one guy who did not get moved. Kelly gets moved to Texas. Obviously, Suarez and Naylor got moved earlier in the week. But in the end, an exciting deadline. Giants sell basically all their good bullpen pieces. I think they did a really nice job getting good packages back. The Twins don't have a bullpen at all, period. Look, you and I were talking about this before the show. I can remember fire sales where position players were just, and look, they traded Correa too, but position play, like the lineup looks completely different. They have no bullpen guys left, period. They have no bullpen guys left. They traded every reasonable piece in that bullpen over the last 48 hours. And boy, you can have some fun with some in-game numbers with Minnesota moving forward. Alex.
Yes, you can, especially, look at today. They have Joe Ryan going.
Yep.
And then what happens after that? And how long are they going to have him out there? So that will be a theme of the day is, really trying to know who is where and which teams you're kind of fading. And there was a couple teams that really lost a lot of the relievers. So it's going to be a lot of names coming up from AAA that we aren't that familiar with. Yeah,
and I give credit to the Cardinals as well. They were realistic. They traded. Wasn't a fire sale, but they got rid of the pieces that could give some good pieces back. AL side of things, again, Mariners, great job. Astros, I thought they had a great day yesterday with Correa and Sanchez. A little bit disappointed in Detroit, but you know what? I don't think there was that much for them to do other than fortify the bullpen, which is what they did.
Agreed.
They get Finnegan from Washington yesterday after that trade with Minnesota last week. Toronto would have liked to have seen more, but hey, look, Shane Bieber, it's odd to say about a guy who's in his mid to late 30s. Shane Bieber is a lotto ticket because of coming off of major surgery. If you get the high-end version of Shane Bieber, you got the ace that Toronto's been lacking. But we don't really know.
Right.
Again, loved what the Yankees did late. That bullpen is ferocious. Boston was a disappointment. That's a yearly occurrence at this point at the deadline. It will be, again, this is the one good thing with the way that this is broken down. It really feels like unless if the Reds get on a big time run, and the Reds had a reasonable deadline as well, the NL 6 teams are set. And the AL, it is 7 teams for 6 spots. It is the 3 out west, Detroit, and the 3 in the East. That's where we're basically at this rate, Alex.
What about the Rays?
Yeah, the Rays sold. They did make that interesting trade with Minnesota where they essentially got Griffin Jackson. They flipped Bradley back, which was an interesting move, which usually when the Rays are trading a pitcher, that's usually not a good sign for the team that's getting said pitcher, except for the Blake Snell deal, more so than anything. But it'd be interesting. I think the Rays they sold.
Yeah.
I don't think they consider themselves in it. And I again, same with the Angels. Again, I hated what Kansas City did. I would have sold, but they had an odd deadline. Cleveland really ended up not trading any of the big time pieces. So be interesting to see what happens down the stretch here in Major League Baseball. All right, let's get into these games here today. 14 games to talk about because Cincinnati and Atlanta are already underway after one of the craziest games in Major League history last night, where both teams scored 8 runs in the 8th inning.
Right.
Braves went on to win 12, 11, and 10 last night. But let's start in Washington. Nats and Brew Crew. Brewers again entering the post-trade deadline world with the best record in Major League Baseball. It'll be Quintana and Mitchell Parker, a pair of lefties. Brew Crew, Alex, minus 150 in DC tonight with a total of 8.5.
I really don't trust Mitchell Parker. And then who do we have coming in after? So I definitely like the Brewers. I think that's a pretty cheap price there, minus 150. Maybe if you want to do a little bit of the run line there. But I was also thinking maybe just team total going over because, Milwaukee did lose 2 out of 3 in their last series, and they got to start getting some wins here. So I think that this is a good opportunity against Parker. Looking at his median numbers, 3 earned runs, going 5 2/3, 4 strikeouts to his 2 walks, and Jose Quintana has been decent enough that I definitely think he can keep them in this game. So it would be Brewers or nothing for me.
Yeah, I'll just pass on this game. I'm just intrigued to see because the Brewers, look, they lost the first 2 against Miami. Like, is this the moment where the regression to the mean happens? And they won the final game and then took the first 2 against the Cubs. So again, first place entering today's action in Washington. And again, this is a big stretch for Milwaukee. They have a lot of winnable games coming up over the next 4 series before it starts to get more difficult. They play Washington for 3, then 3 in Atlanta. Again, the Braves have had a miserable season. They play 3 against the Mets, which is a big series. And then they play Pittsburgh. 9 out of 12 games against teams that are out of it. Got to take advantage of that if you're Milwaukee, again, sitting with the best record in baseball entering the week. And then after that, they have 3 in Cincinnati and then that mega 5-game series at Wrigley that will probably tell the tale for what the National League Central comes to when it's all said and done. All right, let's go to New York next. Mets back home after licking their wounds after getting destroyed in San Diego. But they see the Giants, who they swept just last weekend in San Francisco. Right. One of these oddities where, again, these teams are seeing each other with only 1 series mixed in between. This is a pitching matchup we saw last Saturday night, actually, in San Francisco. David Peterson and Robbie Ray, both guys were extraordinarily lucky last week. They both scattered a ton of base runners. It was a 2-1 game that probably should have featured about 9 or 10 runs and somehow only featured 3. So it's Peterson, it's Ray. Mets are minus 145, total 7.5. So there's 2 ways to look at this, right? You can look at it that both of these guys are going to pitch better and it's going to regress to the mean and the base runners, which would probably dictate an under, or neither of these guys pitch well, again, like they did last time, is going to regress to the mean and the total. So I'm staying the heck away from this because of that, Alex. I will say I'm a little bit intrigued by the fact that this is a 4 in the first 5 as opposed to a 4, as opposed to a 3.5. That'd probably be the only way to look to under 4 would be the only thing.
That's where I am too. And you are right, because even Robbie Ray, 5 hits and 3 walks in that one. So the Mets really did have some opportunity there. But I do trust him. And looking at his last numbers, they don't look great. His last 3 starts. 6.38 xFIP is not good and not what we're used to from Robbie Ray. But he really got hit up pretty good by Toronto, and they were kind of on that tear. So I'm going to take that out of it. I think he can pitch well enough here. I don't trust their bullpen by any means. So I'm just going to go first 5 under 4 here.
Yeah, you and I are in agreement on that one, Alex. Let's go to Colorado next. Andrew Heaney, and I'm surprised Heaney didn't get dealt by Pittsburgh. They traded the other lefty, Bailey Falter. Also, I forgot to mention him. He got traded as well. Again, Kansas City had a bizarre trade deadline where they're buying and they're not in it. Whatever. We'll get to the Royals later. So this is Heaney and Sanzatella tonight at Coors Field. And Alex, I'll be honest with you, even though Heaney has had his bright spots this year, I'm a little bit floored by the way that this total is presented to us. I would have expected this to be a solid 12 here tonight in Denver, maybe even a 12.5. Wind's blowing out. It's 83 degrees. Sanzatella's been as bad as anyone in baseball this year as a starter. I know the Pirates have had offensive troubles all year, but I think over 11.5 is a pretty reasonable one here tonight in Denver.
I think that's the only way to play it, really. The Pirates, yes, they've definitely been one of the worst teams, but they've won 5 in a row, so something's clicking. They're feeling good. The Rockies have been more competitive this second half as well, so I really do think that you could only bet on the bats here. I don't trust either pitcher, really don't. So, I think that's the way to go. So lean there to the over.
Yep, you and I are in agreement here. First 5 is 6.5 here tonight. So big number in that first 5. But again, if you want to go against Sanzatella, I can't blame you. But again, now that Bird's gone, Colorado's bullpen has nobody left at all. That's even remotely close to being competent. Rockies again are 28 and 80 with 54 games to go. In order, they got to find a way to go 13-41. Be interesting to see if they can pull that off, Alex. I'm going to lean to coin flip at the current moment, but boy, they have no pitching left, and they're arguably their best hitter's gone with McMahon as well. So
it's amazing. They got to 80 losses before any team is really close to getting to 80 wins.
Oh, they got 80 losses before August. I mean, that's almost impossible. Well, either way, getting to 80 before August is impossible one way or another. But boy,
feels like
it's
but
insane. We're starting to see it become more possible with the complete ineptitudes in this league here, Alex. All right, let's go to San Diego next. We saw the Cardinals and the Padres play a big 4-gamer last week, and it really dictated what the Cardinals did. St. Louis took the first 2 and then lost the last 2, and then that was that. Sellapalooza for St. Louis. Padres have their best pitcher going tonight in Nick Pivetta at -185, +165 on the takeback on St. Louis. Total 7.5 at Petco tonight, Alex.
This is a little tough for me. I mean, I think that 7.5 is correct, if not even lower, but I am a little bit worried with the Padres' moves and them offensively. But I think Liberatore can do decent enough and keep this game low scoring. So this is another first 5 under for me. Should probably check and make sure there's nothing, it's not crazy hot in San Diego. But I do trust both these guys. I love their numbers. Medium-wise, Liberatore just 2 earned in 6 innings pitched. Now the 6 hits, it's a little scary there. And Pivetta, you're right, 6 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 6 strikeouts to 1 walk. Love those numbers. Maybe I'm just looking for Cardinals team total under as well. I might have just talked myself into that too, because, I mean, their offensive numbers have just been awful since the second half.
Yeah, it's normal San Diego weather, 70 degrees, small crosswind, pretty generic San Diego night for pretty much any time of the year. So, nothing crazy on the weather. That probably is at least a St. Louis under here tonight. Just make sure it's not a 2.5.
Well, especially, I mean, are we going to see, like we've been talking about, this already good bullpen? They sent 3 guys to the All-Star game, and
someone's going to have a bad 2 months. It's just a matter of who, probably more. It's just a matter of wins. But hey, if one of those guys falters, you just go to the other high-end guy this year. All right, let's go to Toronto next, Alex. It's Michael Wacha. Technically, it's undecided, but I would be surprised if it's not Kevin Gausman here tonight for the Blue Jays. -145 on Toronto, +130 on Kansas City, who I know some people like what the Royals did. I think the Royals had a pretty bad deadline, more so than anything. Yeah, they got some guys with some control, but trading for Yaz made no sense. Extending Lugo when Lugo might have been the best starting pitcher that got traded at the deadline didn't make much sense. I think you're in it okay. I really don't. Even though they're only 3.5 out, I just don't see the path with the teams they have to chase down. But hey, look, more power to you if you think you can make a run if you're Kansas City. Tonight, they're a dog. It's a total of 8 at north of the border, Alex.
I think that number's right here with Toronto, -145. I'm a little bit hesitant because is Toronto all the way back? We saw them really struggling against the Orioles, and now are you willing to lay that price? I'm not going to. I'm going to stay off of this one. If anything, it would be a lean to the under if it is Gausman and Wacha. I do think that 8 is just a little bit too high, but nothing I really want to jump in on.
Yeah, it's a no go here tonight for either of us in this game. Let's go to Minnesota next. It was fun for about 20 minutes when Joe Ryan was a Boston Red Sox yesterday, right? Fun for about 20 minutes. Obviously, that did not end up happening. Joe Ryan starts tonight, and Alex, the Twins have no bullpen left. Legitimately traded their 7 best bullpen arms over the last 48 hours. And it's Williams on the other side for Cleveland. Total 7. Now here's the deal moving forward with the Twins. If you want to take Minnesota first 5, especially on days when Joe Ryan's pitching, go do it. Be very careful betting them at the end because of their bullpen.
Right.
Ryan's -105 first 5 today. I don't mind that. I really don't mind that here, Alex. If you want to take a shot on Joe Ryan in the first 5 at -105 here tonight.
Well, I don't mind that either. I think I'm actually surprised that Williams is even a
favorite.
Yeah, 10-cent favorite there. But I like the under 3.5 as well. I do think that Gavin Williamson can pitch well, especially with the Twins kind of dealing some of their lineup too. And So yeah, I like both of those. Lean to under 3.5 or taking Joe Ryan and the Twins. I think I'm more inclined for just an under for both of these.
The first five are looking at it a 3.5. You can get there. I can get there on that. Be very careful on that full game total, though. Just with, again, we have to see what it could be. A lot of minor leaguers, a lot of guys from St. Paul are going to be in that bullpen just across the river there for Minnesota. All right, let's go to Boston next. This is a big series. The Astros and the Red Sox, both teams would be in the postseason if they started today. Stros would be the American League West champions. Red Sox would be in a series against the Yankees, which, boy, that'd be something else if we got that in the 4-5. Again, Red Sox, it's disappointing at the deadline, but that just feels like a yearly occurrence when they're in it. If they got Ryan, then it would have been a very different perception, but they didn't. It's Criswell against Hunter Brown here tonight at Fenway. I'm a little bit surprised that Hunter Brown is this short of a favorite, actually, Alex. It opened -130, got as high as -150, but is all the way back down the ladder to -120. This would be a bet on Hunter Brown and the Houston Astros here tonight at -120, Alex.
I'm with you. I mean, there's a couple bad starts in there, but he really looked good against the Athletics, which I think that's a good lineup to go off of because I do think that they are a very good offense. So, but the starts before that in Seattle gave up 3 earned and just went 4 against the Mariners. And then the Rangers gave up 4 and 5, and even Cleveland got to him. So there was a couple bad starts in there. I want to believe that Hunter Brown is back and, has his command back. So I would be going that way too. I think that's a cheap price on Houston, who made some moves, should be good vibes there, getting Correa back, even though he will not be in the lineup for sure. But -120, I do not trust Cooper Criswell. And you're right. They definitely needed another starter in their lineup. The Red Sox did. But I also think they're kind of overachieving. They're not even really supposed to be here this year. They're very young. So probably why they didn't go all in just yet. But Astros definitely, even though the Red Sox, you got to be careful because their bats have been really good. And their offensive numbers are definitely better than Houston, who we have seen struggling. But I'll take a shot. -120. It's worth it.
-120, the play for both of us on the Houston Astros here tonight against the Red Sox. All right, let's go to Anaheim next. We can be quick on this one. Again, I don't know what the hell the Angels were attempting to do at the deadline. It just delusion, total delusion from the Angels yet again. Tyler Anderson against undecided tonight. And undecided is only +115, which is a little bit shocking when the White Sox are involved. I mean, isn't this just the price? Isn't this just lay the short price on Anderson, right? Against a White Sox bullpen game tonight, Alex?
Yeah. I mean, I was thinking more just runs. Look at that.
Yeah, we could do that too.
You got 5 there and for a good reason. I mean, Tyler Anderson pretty much giving up 3 on every start and at least. And the other side, yeah, you're right. We don't know. I've thinking Shane Smith, but that might even change it too. So kind of a pass for me, but it was a lean to the over.
9.5 in this one in Angels Stadium. A normal Orange County night, mid-70s, not a lot of wind. Pretty nice night.
Yeah.
Not the greatest of hitting conditions, but it's not a negative, not a net negative in the way of the hitting conditions here tonight. All right, let's go to Seattle next. Game behind us. Jack Leiter, Logan Gilbert. Mariners are 1-0 in the Eugenio Suarez 2.0 era. And you know what? Again, for Seattle, this series is more important for Seattle than it is for Texas. I understand it's important for both of them because the Rangers are right in the mix. But when you go out and this is a Mariner franchise that has really not been overly aggressive in the past, and you go out and you get the best bat at the deadline, you get Naylor, who is a piece that they needed because they needed help at the corner infield positions, and they got help with those 2 dudes in Naylor and Suarez. Coming out and taking 3 out of 4 of this series and getting a 2-game lead on Texas is incredibly important for making a big-time run. And again, as I said yesterday, and this was before the Correa trade, so I'll alter it a little bit with Houston. Even though Toronto is technically the 1 seed at the moment, the Tigers, the Astros, and the Mariners, and the Yankees help themselves, but I still don't trust them enough, especially if Judge doesn't get 100% healthy the rest of the way. it's coming from one of those three, the American League champion. And for Seattle, look, getting the number one wild card would be pretty darn important. Get those games at home.
Yeah.
Even though maybe with the new look lineup, it's not a catastrophe if you have to go on the road. Tonight, they're a big favorite, though, Alex. -175 with a total of 7.5.
I just can't get there. I can't lay that big of a price. I can see why people are kind of like you're saying, take 3 out of 4. This is going to be one of them, right? Against Jack Leiter, who has been really good for them, but definitely not one of their top 2. So I lean that way. I also lean to another under here, first 5, because I do think Logan Gilbert and Leiter can do enough in that first 5. We kind of saw it yesterday with Rocker and George Kirby. And then, Mariners had a lot of opportunity, and then 5th inning, wheels kind of fell off, and they found some ways. And really, Texas couldn't do anything offensively, and I'm not really trusting them to here against Logan Gilbert. So it would be under 4 for me with these two as well.
That seems to be the theme today.
Which is scary.
First 5 unders and full game overs with bad pitchers
Right.
seems to be the theme here for the show today. All right, let's go to Wrigley next. And Wrigley Field today is a classic wind blowing in game. It's actually pretty reasonable temperature-wise, 75 degrees, pretty good for first day of August in Chicago. And the wind's blowing straight in at between 10 and 15 miles an hour. And that's why you have a matchup of Rogers and Horton at a 7.
Right.
-150 on the Cubs, +135 on Baltimore. Again, the Orioles totally looking different. Mullins obviously traded. O'Hearn and Laureano traded. So not the same sort of lineup that they've been able to feature, even though, again, it's struggled this year. Alex, I'm not going to do anything here. No, if it was better pitchers, I'd go under, but I don't trust either of these guys, even though the numbers for these guys look okay.
Right. No, I'm right there with you. I do think Cade Horton's been better than we give him credit for, especially as of late. I mean, he's got a 12 scoreless innings in his last 2 starts, so it could be good here, especially the Orioles hit much better at home, and now they're missing some pieces in that lineup. So I do think the Cubs get it done here. I'm not going to bet it, and now that it's down to 7, I can't do anything either.
Up next, we go to Philadelphia. This is a huge series between 2 World Series contenders, Tigers and Phils, Flaherty and Suarez. We've talked about Flaherty's struggles away from Comerica this year. Now he goes into one of the best hitters' parks in baseball here tonight. I'm actually a little bit surprised the Phillies aren't a bigger favorite than they are, and I know that is kind of been the antithesis of how I played the Tigers, of like, hey, I'm going to take these good prices on a team that may not be fully respected in the market as much as I think they should be. But tonight, I don't want to go against this Philly lineup with the way Flaherty has pitched away from home. So it would only be a look to the Phillies, maybe a first 5 run line here tonight, Alex White, where you can get the Phillies laying the half a run at -105.
Yeah.
Not a bad price. But it would only be a look to the Fighting Phils here tonight at home.
They make me nervous. We were saying it over and over against the White Sox, and then they lost some they really should have had. I do trust Ranger Suarez, and he's had a couple bad starts in there against LA and San Diego, and maybe that was just the West Coast thing. Came back and pitched fantastic against the Yankees. So I thought it should be closer to -170, honestly. So I'm with you. I think that there is some value there, laying a short price here. I do like your first 5. Flaherty has been better, and if you look at his last 3 starts, opponents, now this doesn't sound great, hitting .289, but .287 xFIP, so he has been better, but I think the Phillies can get to him a little bit, at least an extra run over the Tigers here.
Up next, let's go to Miami, Marlins and Yanks. The Yankees, again, get to show off their new look bullpen tonight, but they are throwing their second best starter. So Carlos Rodon goes for the Bombers. Junk, who we've talked about, Junk's control has been impeccable for Miami. He's going to throw strikes. That's the one thing you know about Junk.
Yep.
He's +145 tonight at home, total 7.5 on this one.
To your point, 44 strikes, just 5 walks for him. He has been very good. Still Rodon better on the other side. This would be a lean to the under, but I'm not going to touch it here in Miami. But I do think both bullpens, Miami's bullpen has already been pretty good. So it's a lean there, especially with Judge still out. But I keep saying that, and the Yankees keep finding ways. So I'm going to stay off of this one.
Yeah, it would only be a look actually to the first 5 under in this game, since it's a 7.5 for the full game and it's 4.5 first 5. That would be the only way I'd look. But the type of pitcher Junk is concerns me, and the Yankees are starting to hit. Even without Judge, they're starting to hit again. That worries me. With again being, no pun intended, Junk is a junk baller. He doesn't throw hard. He's a control guy. So that type of lineup actually again makes the Yankees swing the bat. Not a bad thing, but it would be still a look to the under in this one. All right, let's go to Tampa next, Alex. Shane Baz, Clayton Kershaw tonight. By the way, we obviously aren't on the weekends anymore, Alex, but Blake Snell will make his return tomorrow for the Dodgers and against the team that he played the bulk of his career for, not in the stadium because, of course, we're playing outdoors.
Right.
Minus 125 on the Dodgers, plus 110 on the Rays. Total of 9 at Steinbrenner Field tonight. Alex, these are amazing hitting conditions. It's about going to be pushing 90 degrees with a 10-mile-an-hour wind out to center. So both of these guys, look, when Baz has been good, Baz has been high end this year, but it just hasn't been consistent. And Kershaw has been much better over the last month. So how much of that do you take in? It would probably still be a lean to the over, even with that, to me, Alex.
No, I'm with you, especially because I think this total could have been closer to 9.5 before even taking in those weather conditions. So if you want to add a run and a half, then yeah, you definitely have value there going with the over. Sidewise, I mean, you could make the case. I wouldn't fight you if you said this is cheap on the Dodgers at minus 125, but I still don't really fully trust them. I don't trust the Rays on the other side. So yeah, Jeff, if you were going to talk me into a bet, it would definitely be the over here.
Last one up, which it's always a good sign when on the website we use for to have our odds sheets in front of us, Alex. It's always a good sign when it says undecided against undecided on the sheet. Now, realistically speaking, it's going to be Jacob Lopez tonight for the A's.
Yes.
On the other side, Anthony DeSclafani, who I had forgotten was still in the major leagues, is going to only make his second start of the year for the Diamondbacks, more likely than not. A's are minus 125, D-backs plus 110, total 9.5. This was supposed to be Merrill Kelly, but of course scratched because traded to the Rangers. I don't know what to do here, Alex. Probably a lean to the over here tonight in Sacramento, but I don't know. I don't know what to do here, Alex.
I mean, I don't trust the Diamondbacks bats even right now. They definitely look like they don't want to be out there. They've lost 5 in a row, so. I mean, I'm leaning to the Athletics minus 125. Curious what that first 5 is because, I mean, Jacob Lopez has been decent enough for the Athletics. I think he could pitch well here today against this Diamondbacks team. Kind of nervous if he doesn't make it through all 5 innings. That would definitely make that first 5 a little bit more risky, but nothing definite. I lean to the Athletics side here at home, but you're right. I mean, back in Sacramento,
it's minus 115 first 5 for the A's. Wind is blowing out tonight, so that's always something you got to keep in mind. In that ballpark, will play to the hitter's favor yet again. All right, let's take a quick break and we get back. Trivia question and answer, Alex's whiteboard, and Chris Andrews. College football games of the year are out. We'll discuss that and more with our fearless leader, Chris Andrews, when we get back. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We have 11 amazing restaurants featuring a wide variety for every price range and appetite. South Point's Garden Buffet has something for everyone at unbeatable prices. Or if hunger strikes in the middle of the night, join us at Coronado Cafe. The American menu offers breakfast, lunch, or dinner 24 hours a day, plus a Chinese kitchen for authentic Chinese dishes from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m. From steak and eggs to wonton soup, it's fast and friendly service 24/7. When you need a quick pick-me-up, you can find it at our state-of-the-art Starbucks just inside the main South Point entrance. Order ahead with the Starbucks app for easy mobile order pickups. Or enjoy your favorites in the relaxing dining area anytime, day or night. If you love Mexican food, Baja Miguel's has all of your south of the border favorites. There are dozens of classics to choose from, like fajitas, ceviche, chimichangas, tacos, and more. And for spirit lovers, Baja's colorful non-smoking tequila bar is right outside.
contest sign-up season is here, and you don't want to miss out on the action. With millions of dollars on the line each and every week in the world's biggest football contest, there's only one proxy to trust, footballcontest.com. Maddie and Tony have set the gold standard for football contest proxy services with 20 years of experience and over 13 million in winnings for their clients. All you have to do is get to Vegas between now and the start of football season to sign up in person, and they do the rest, making sure your picks are entered every week. Whether you want to play in the Circa Sports Million, Circa Survivor, Super Contest Gold, or the new Super Contest College Contest, Maddie and Tony have you covered. Their new website has everything you need to know about these football contests and more, including how you can reserve the best proxy in the business. Experience matters, so go with the pros at footballcontest.com, the gold standard proxy service.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book. Sports by the book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book, South Point Studio. Jeff Parles, Alex White, and now joining us, Sportsbook Director here at the South Point, Chris Andrews with us today. Chris, good morning. Happy August.
In Greek, we say kalomina. Really, first of every month. Have a good month.
We'll hope for the best of August. Hey, football is right around the corner. Hall of Fame game last night.
Hall of Fame game last night.
Chargers win by $1 billion and the game goes over.
Yeah, I watched the first 14 points, and I went to the baseball game. So.
Yeah, that's a good idea. All you needed to see was what you saw last
Yeah.
night in the football game. So, Chris, let's just start. These are out now. The college football games of the year came out at the top of the show. Chris, just as always, you put this list out around this time of year, and you have a front and back here today available.
How many games we got? Like 50 something?
Yeah, give or take.
Yeah. So a lot of games. We got a couple games that other people don't have. We got games that other people do have. We didn't just copy and paste the numbers. We used our own, and I got numbers from some different sources, including our good friend Vinny. We went through the numbers yesterday and kind of established what we were going to open today. So we got them up. I don't have much action yet, but I'm getting our good friend the Bear texted me. He's probably watching right now. Bear texted me a couple plays that he liked. I'm not going to give them out. That's up to the Bear. Bear, we're open till the end of the month. Come on in, because I think he will be in. And some other guys texted me some that they liked, but they were out of town or whatever. So, like I said, we're going to be up for a while. So come on in and play.
One that jumped out to me, Chris, I want to ask you about Boise State, Notre Dame.
Yeah.
October 4th. That is awesome. You have it Notre Dame 16.5. I didn't see that.
That was a unique one.
Yeah.
Is that a unique one? Okay.
Yeah.
What number is that? Where's that at? What date?
That is October 4th, Chris. 91.537.
Yeah. That's 16.5. I think that's right about what I made it too. So I mean, I think Notre Dame's going to be very good, but of course, so's Boise. Their heads above everybody else in that conference.
I like that you picked that one. And do you remember how you kind of?
Well, I'm looking at my numbers. My numbers came to 16. I shaded it a little higher because I think Notre Dame is going to be very good this year. But like I said, so's Boise. I just tried to pick some games that, like I said, maybe everybody didn't have, but I thought, and we are out west, and I try to have some Western leanings to a lot of these games that maybe some other people eliminated. So, that was one of them. We got a lot. Boise, I mean, if you're around this town, Boise fans travel extremely well.
Definitely.
So I wanted to have that one on the board. I got a few BYU games. I got some Utah games, probably more than I should. I think Utah's a team that we could see some variable outcomes there, because I think last year, and I was reading Bill Conley, who talked about how they had like the most incredible bad luck last year.
Oh, yeah.
Like, monumental. But of course, I got a new quarterback, but Whittingham's a great coach. They're in a conference, I think, that is, Jeff and I talked before the show. There's a lot of things can happen in that conference.
Big shrug emoji for me in the Big 12.
I would say the same thing. I think there's a lot of very good teams, including Utah. But, there's going to be a couple of those games are going to fall one way or the other. Yeah, I think Utah will be vastly improved from last year. But, it'll show up in the record, I do believe.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure they're going to be 11-1 or anything like that.
I'll just say this real quick on just all these games that you have out here, Chris. And it's funny, you and I were talking before the show. One of the games that I was most intrigued by was Illinois and Indiana.
That's the one we got bet on.
Well, how did they do it?
They laid the 3.
They laid the 3. I'm not surprised. Alex and I were talking about this yesterday as well. Chris, Indiana last year was obviously the big surprise. They took advantage of the easy schedule, won 11 games. Illinois kind of has that same sort of look as Indiana did a year ago. And look, to me, the Hoosiers, their roster is better. I like the quarterback situation better. Their schedule obviously is just not a joke. Their non-con's a joke, but the schedule is not as easy as it was a year ago.
Well, and like I said, Jeff, you and I talked before the show. Illinois 2 years ago was a big disappointment. I had them pegged as one of my teams, and they really didn't show up. But now this year, I got them pegged again. So Brett Bielema was hoping I don't put the eyes on them. But I think Illinois is going to be very good, and Indiana will be good again. I just think that's a really, really tough game. And I thought 3 was a good opening number. The handicappers thought differently, and we're up to 4 on that game.
I want to ask you about kind of the start of the season. I know Jeff has an in-depth question for this too, but last year you told me, and it was like, I don't think it was week 0, it was week 1, that somebody had told you, take those underdogs that are 3, 3.5 or less, right? Because sometimes the books just barely get it wrong and the other team wins outright. And I did a round robin with it and actually made some pretty decent money.
Yeah, I had a guy for years. This is when I was in Reno all those years, and he'd come in. And I wasn't just 3.5. He was looking for dogs. I mean, he had some big dogs occasionally. And he usually bet anywhere from 4 to 6 teams in a round robin, betting 2s and 3s. And that dirty rat, he used to kill me. But, you just can't throw darts at the board. I mean, this guy was a pretty sharp handicapper. But if you find some good money lines we're talking about, betting the money lines, because, I mean, you know how it is. And I'm looking here. It's like, take like Arizona State. We had no idea how good they were going to be. And there's a lot of teams like that. That one that jumps out at me, and I could look at my power ratings and see there'll be some teams out there that by the time we get to October or November, you'll look, how the hell were they a dog week 1?
Yeah.
But like I said, you can't just throw a dart at the board. You got to pick some, try to do your handicap and pick some value. But that's a way that you can win. And I like I said, I remember that dirty rat. He used to beat me every year betting those, but I'd pay attention when he bet them because he was pretty good at handicap.
And I need to find the exact tweet. And I saw this about 10 days ago, where the month of September is when the bigger underdogs win as well. Just last year it was north of 60% of the dogs more than a touchdown won their games outright. In comparison to the rest of the year. Again, so let me say that a little clearer. Of the dogs that were more than a touchdown for the whole season, more than 60% of those dogs that happened to win the game as a bigger dog, won them in September as opposed to the rest of the year. So,
that's why I wouldn't say just cut it off at 3.5. Look for some dogs. But again, Jeff, as we talked before, the bottom can fall out of a lot of teams. The bottom falls out of more teams than it goes the other way. And as of now, even when we look at all these teams, and even teams that aren't on our board, like Akron or Arkansas State, or just run down the line, the bottom can fall out pretty heavily on those kind of teams because they just don't have the depth. Now, is Ohio State, is that going to fall apart? No. Even look at like Georgia last year, could say, boy, they really had a disappointing year. How many teams in the country would sign up for Georgia's year? They had a hell of a year by most standards. So the bottom isn't going to fall out too much for those kind of teams. But I think I think Kent State last year was the lowest rated team I've ever had. And they, that's a team that, they get some injuries. They don't have enough talent to overcome it.
Right.
If Ohio State gets some injuries, they'll probably still be okay. Oregon, they'll probably still be okay. But it's those other teams you got to watch because sometimes injuries start adding up or some other factors. And, that those teams can really fall dramatically.
Florida State comes to mind.
Florida State, yeah. I think week 1 we kind of figured that out when they lost to Georgia Tech.
Well, it's super interesting this year because you and I talked about Miami beforehand, and actually it's because over at the Superbook, John Murray and company obviously do a tremendous job, and they have some games of the year too, and always like to compare and contrast when your numbers come out to them. And the only game that had more than a 1.5 difference was Miami and SMU, which is interesting because they had SMU -2. You opened that game a pick. And it's funny because we were kind of talking about Miami's super talented, but it's Mario Cristobal still.
Yeah, I don't trust Mario Cristobal. So they have who? They had
SMU too.
They have SMU too, and I have it pick.
Yeah.
Vinny must influence me on that one. I'll have to take another look at that one. I don't know. I think I do. I love the SMU coach. I mean, what you think of what he's done with that program? And Cristobal, he can recruit the hell out of it, but he's just made a lot of in-game. I mean, blunders is the only way you could describe it. And I mean, I think he's going to blow a close game or two, but I'll have to look at that one. I'm not sure why I put that one on. What's the date of that game?
That is 11-1, November 1st.
November 1st.
91-577.
Yeah, okay. I personally made the game pick. Vinny made Miami 1.5. Let me see if there's, because I got some other numbers out there too. Oh gosh, I got so many sheets I can't keep track.
I have a feeling you guys' number is closer to the right number, and theirs might have been bet with some SMU love, which
November
is
1st. Yeah. I've seen both teams favored there in that one.
Yeah.
Surprised I opened that 1.5. I probably should open that one pick, but we'll see what happens.
See how the folks bet it. Chris, I want to move over to baseball real quick because trade deadline's come and gone.
Yeah,
it was a slow start.
Yeah,
but boy, the last 48 hours were pretty nuts, and a lot of future movement. Obviously, the Dodgers are still they're not odds on, but there's still a small of a favorite as you're never going to see at this point of the year in baseball, plus 160. But you moved a lot of numbers, and you have a ton of teams that are compact at 8-1 or 10-1 right now.
Well, I think you get that that level of team that feel that they have a real chance, and and they go for it. And then conversely, you have the other teams, like Baltimore. I think they sold out. The Giants, Minnesota. I mean, so there were some pickings on those kind of teams. From some of their guys that for whatever reason they wanted to get rid of. But those other teams that have a good shot, they just want to go for it. I mean, they maybe trade some youth and find some immediate help, and time will tell if it's worth it or not.
Do you have any big bets on the Dodgers?
Yeah, we got a few
coming in early.
Yeah, they bet them early. I mean, I got them really low, but even to this point, I lose pretty good with the Dodgers. So I got them probably lower than anyone. So if you're looking for some value elsewhere, you could probably find it on my board. Because listen, I know they have not played that great in the last month or so, but Kershaw's back, and and he hasn't had a great playoff run either. But still, that's another arm in there, and I think that's they're just going to be tough to beat. Come October.
They're getting more arms back.
Well, Snell comes back tomorrow.
Yeah.
At some point, you might. Well, who knows? You probably won't even see Sasaki at any point soon. But again, last year it's interesting because even last year with the Dodgers, even though they turned into a behemoth in the postseason, I don't think any of us thought, this is they're they're the best team, but they're not dominant last year. I never thought that. And then getting a 2-1 hold of the Padres, like, maybe I was right. Maybe we were right. And then after that,
what do I have the Padres now to do?
8-1. You have them in the collection of 8-1. Yeah, it's Dodgers are shorter than 2-1. You had San Diego and Houston at 8-1, and then you had basically every other high-end caliber playoff team except for Seattle at 10-1. Mariners were a little bit more down the board.
Yeah, really, because I think the Mariners might attract some money. They made a pretty nice move.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I think I'm a traditionalist in a lot of ways, but I think the wild card has really helped baseball. Just kept this wide open for for an extended period of time. And even you look at the Dodgers, they could fall into the wild card. I mean, a lot of people think that's possible.
That, and also keep in mind, and this is year 4 of this new format with the 6 teams and the best of 3 wild card series. The Dodgers could, even if they win the division, the Dodgers might have to play in that wild card series. There's a real chance that they get the 3 seed because the Brewers are ahead of them and have the tiebreaker. The Mets have the tiebreaker on them as well. And imagine having to play, if you're the Dodgers, you play a best of 3 series against San Diego right out of the chute.
Geez, stop, Jeff. You're breaking my heart.
I know, but that's my point. Is like, and this is why, like, again, I know you would love to see them get KO'd for a ton of reasons.
Yeah.
But if they get stuck in a best of 3 wild card series, I mean, anything can happen in the best
baseball.
Anything can happen in the best of 3. I mean, hell, anything can happen in the best of 5, best of 3.
Yeah.
It's
or
completely
a Super
insane.
Bowl or anything. I mean, it's sports. We've been watching these things all our lives. There's all kind of crazy stuff happen.
Yeah, it'll be super. And Alex and I talked about this earlier in the show, Chris. Like, I know the Reds are technically still in the race, but the Giants sold. The Cardinals.
Yastrzemski. Boy, I was.
Oh, and all the bullpen pieces.
Yeah, I know. My wife's a big Giants fan. So I follow them a lot. They're probably my second favorite team to the Pirates, which doesn't give me a whole lot to root for. But I was surprised they traded Yastrzemski. I mean, he was a fan favorite, and just the other day he had that
insane
incredible catch. They're calling the catch of the year, which it might be. I was surprised they traded him, but they were big sellers at the deadline.
After making the biggest move to start it all off.
Yeah, right. But that evidently has not worked out.
No, definitely not.
What's their record since they got?
They're 1 under 500 for the year right now.
So I think I was talking to Johnny Gone last night. Was telling me their record since they made that trade it's pretty dismal. So that's why they were sellers. Yeah,
it's and also too, like whatever happens right before the deadline usually spurs the action. Giants. Since the All-Star break are now 2-10. So bad stretch at the right or wrong time, depending on how you look at it. But again, I'd like to finish my point. The NL, I feel pretty confident the 6 teams that are in there are going to go to the postseason. It's just a matter of what's the order for the 6 teams. And in the AL, it really feels like it's 7 teams for 6 spots, with Texas being the one on the outside looking in. Before, Chris, we let you go, just we're heading into the NFL preseason. Obviously, the Hall of Fame game a little bit different. You have it up forever because it's the first game. But how do you guys, in comparison to regular season games, what's the biggest differences that people who maybe coming in and betting the preseason for the first time need to know more so than anything? And how do you guys handle it differently behind the counter?
Well, it's funny, Jeff. You'll have a bunch of games where there's virtually no action, 1,000, 2,000, nothing. And then you'll have a couple other games where we might write more business on that game than we do on a World Series game. And it all depends on the information that comes out, when it comes out. We get some contradictory information, then it really spurs a lot of action. And, I've seen it go. It seems like it's a little less in the last couple of years, but I remember back in the old days, when it seemed like quarterbacks, like we had a progression. They'd play the first week, first and second quarter of the next week. Then, so it's been a little different lately. But I saw where Burrow is going to play a lot more this preseason. And I think that's only right. The Bengals are notorious slow starters. I haven't seen too much from anyone else. I know Detroit Campbell, his record is abysmal, and obviously it's turned around in the regular season. So we'll have to see. But like I said, when we get some cross currents of information, we do a monster handle. But otherwise, and even last night, the handle wasn't much. They bet pretty good on the second half, but that was it. Not much for the game.
What'd they come in with for the second half?
Well, I know we beat the hell out of it.
Okay,
but
they kept trying.
I was at the baseball game, though, Alex. They
were trying to go for the Lions.
What, did they just try to come in on the Lions and and the Lions get shut out 13-0 in the second half?
I think they bet over the second half too. So.
Wow! Oh my gosh!
Well, it's August, guys. We're
But, when I was a kid, and I'm a lot older than you guys, obviously, but the August was always fun. You got to see backups play an extended amount of time. Remember for Dallas when Tony Dorsett hardly played, they had Ron Springs, and they called him Mr. August. They used to tear it up every August, and then you'd never see him again, except on occasional spot duty.
I want to ask you one more. With training camp going on and everybody kind of, finalizing their rosters, and that's why we're seeing all these preseason games. Is there anyone that you have your eye on? Like, I'm thinking Terry McLaurin right now. He just requested a trade, and that could really impact your power rating for a certain team. Or, I guess Hendricks too. We're still waiting on that deal.
Yeah, but it's funny you mention a team that I think did some good moves in the offseason is the New York Giants. I don't know if that's going to translate into wins or not, because I said on this show, I think it's the first time in my 69 years I said the Cowboys are actually underrated this year. Now, they're letting Micah Parsons sit on the sidelines. That may have a big impact.
Right.
But you talk about another defensive lineman from Penn State, Abdul Carter. And I heard he's tearing up in the Giants preseason in their practices. I mean, he's a guy that I think could have a big influence. You could rush that passer, and I'm assuming Russell Wilson will be the starter day one. I mean, he's still a good quarterback. He's not great. Is Scatteraboo? That's on the. Yeah. I don't know how he's going to be.
He's probably going to be the second or third running
back.
Yeah,
but I think that was still a good move by the Giants. Too. I think like I said, a couple of years ago, we thought Dayball was headed to Canton as a coach. They're in a very tough division, and they have a tough schedule. But I think the Giants, when I was reading about Abdul Carter, and actually he's a Penn State guy, I'm going to probably root for him. But I think that's a guy that could have a pretty big impact. And usually we talk about offensive guys, but that's when you rush the passer like that could have a big impact on your team.
Well, our Giants preview is live already on the YouTube page. I said it there. Just Abdul Carter's 2-1 to win Defensive Rookie of the Year, which is a insanely low price to see before the year. And I think it's completely justified. It might even be a steal by week 3. I think he's on a defense that has a few really high-end players. Dexter Lawrence is one of the best defensive tackles in the NFL. Brian Burns is a high-end guy. He used big-time draft capital on Thibodeau. I think that Carter is going to be a stud, and it's going to be quick. So
I do too. I think he's going to be terrific. Yeah.
But you mentioned it, Chris. That schedule, at least on paper, we never know. Again, the hard schedule on paper could turn out to be a paper tiger. All the time in the NFL, it can happen.
We don't know who's good. Here I was thinking the other day, and I don't know if I mentioned this on this show. I was talking to some friends. There's about a third of our predictions for the NFL that you'll look back at the end of the year and say, what the hell were we thinking? Now, I don't know what that's going to be. I have no idea. Maybe the Saints are going to win the division or something like that. But, and I think the Saints are probably the worst team in football. But, there's things like that you'll look back and say, geez, I can't believe that happened. And, and that goes for teams that are good and bad. Like look at the Niners last year.
Yeah.
We had them penciled in as a, huge, one of the favorites in the NFC, and they greatly disappointed. There'll be more teams like that this year too, but we don't know which way it's going to go. So we don't know who's good and bad yet.
Always trying to evolve and add new things. And since we've been doing these previews, I have my power ratings, my normal spreadsheet. Now I'm putting the, win-loss of what I'm kind of predicting. And if I sort by power ratings, there's a few teams, and the Giants are one of them, that are higher with less wins because of the schedule. So to your point, I'm right there with you with their power rating and their moves. But so maybe that's one that we look at and we're like, 4 or 5 wins.
Yeah, right.
But they find ways to,
how many games kind of sit on the end of the table.
That's
It just
right.
depends on which way that ball rolls. And like I said, you got Russell Wilson. He's not great anymore. I still think he's a Hall of Famer myself. But you mean to tell me he can't squeeze out an extra win or two along the
Right.
way? I think he definitely can.
Yeah.
And if he could do that, all of a sudden they're in the playoff hunt.
And that defense.
Yeah, well, we got a lot more previews coming over the next few weeks here on the channel as well. We're getting to the better teams. So next one we record is Pittsburgh. So good luck to us on that one, Chris.
Well, that could go either way, too.
That is, there are some teams with a collapse range.
Yeah.
The Steelers are not one of them. Let's just go with that.
Yeah, I don't think they'll collapse. You know,
Yeah.
I mean, that defense is too good. You know, I mean, listen, obviously, it's, Rodgers is going to be a big key. And, I follow the Pittsburgh papers and all that. And, so far, so good with Rodgers. I mean, that's all I can tell you.
Chris, as always, it's a pleasure. Hopefully, these are going to be up until Labor Day. So
Yeah.
get here.
Hey, I want to stick around for the trivia question.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good with us. We'll keep you right here. We'll take a break then. We got to give the people apparently another minute to answer the trivia question. So
What's the trivia question?
it's an Olympic one.
Okay.
So we'll tell you We'll tell you if anyone got it when we get back, and also Alex's whiteboard on the first day of August here on Sports by the Book.
South Point Casino has plenty of attractions for the whole family. Catch a movie. Our 16-screen movie theater includes 2 XD Extreme screens for the ultimate in viewing, sound, and luxury. After the show, treat the family to a variety of treats at our old-fashioned ice cream parlor, Kate's Corner. We scoop up a variety of creamy concoctions, including smoothies, hand-dipped cones, milkshakes, malts, sodas, and sundaes. At Kate's, there's something for everyone. And if you've still got time to spare, our bowling center might be right up your alley. Voted Best of Las Vegas, it's a great place for friends and family fun. 64 lanes, a pro shop, snack bar, and arcade. And while the kids are bowling, you can play slots and sip on a drink in the Alley Cat Lounge while overlooking the lanes. For our more serious and professional bowlers, the South Point is also home to a separate tournament bowling plaza. Once you've satisfied your hunger, get ready for more of the hottest casino games in Vegas. Our 24-hour, 30-table non-smoking poker room proudly hosts all the most popular poker games with a variety of betting limits. Visit the poker room for a schedule of daily tournaments. Whether you're going to hold 'em or fold 'em, the best place for poker is at South Point Casino. You'll notice that our craps tables are usually the loudest in the casino. If you've never played, join one of our free craps lessons to find out what makes this game so exciting. Check with the craps dealer for schedules and give it a roll. Bingo is also an exciting way to spend your time. We offer 7 sessions of bingo every day. And each session includes a cash ball jackpot, 12 bingo games, a progressive double action game, and a $10,000 bonus coverall. Electronic units are available. If you haven't played bingo with us, give it a try today. Guests can also get in on the action at our one-of-a-kind race and sports books. 2 separate rooms designed to maximize your experience and comfort. Our sports book, with over 400 seats, puts you right in the middle of the action, 24 hours a day. The friendly ticket writers are happy to help, and it's conveniently located next to the famous Del Mar Deli, where you'll find supersized portions of delicious deli items like roast beef, pastrami, and Reuben sandwiches, or soups, salads, and pizza. Plus spectacular desserts fit for a king. And right next door is the race book. Over 150 seats, each with its own TV screen. There are 16 interactive player terminals, so you can bet right from your seat.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the book.
Sports by the Book. Sports by the Book, South Point Studio.
We don't make stuff up here.
I would only play the Pirates team total going under.
What the hell happened to Minnesota's pitching?
This total has really crashed without plumbing the lineup.
I think this number's too high, but they're laying me the 6.
Oh, I know.
Caitlin Clark drives handle on the WNBA.
Never mind all these Mickey Mouse other stations. We are giving you hands-on information.
Welcome back in Sports by the Book. Jeff Parles, Alex White, Chris Andrews. Alex's whiteboard is already ready, as you can see, but we got to get the trivia question and answer first, which someone did answer it correctly. So we're off to a 1-0 start for...
Okay, well, let me know what it is.
Here you go.
Okay.
On this date in 1976.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, there you go. The 21st Summer Olympic Games closed in Montreal, marking the first time the Olympics were hosted by the country of Canada. Which two countries claimed their first Olympic gold medals at these games?
Oh, God.
And which country won the most medals without winning gold?
Oh, God.
Yeah, Vince was pretty mean on this one, Chris.
Vince, Jesus.
You can
So-
start Googling.
No,
I'll make
it
it very easy for you, Chris. I'll just tell you the answer.
No, hang on.
You want to make a guess?
I'm going to go with the Netherlands
Okay.
and Indonesia.
All right. Well, you got one continent correct.
Oh, okay.
So it was actually as a Caribbean nation of Trinidad and Tobago
Okay.
won their first gold. Hazley Crawford won the 100 meters,
Wow.
which again, look, obviously Jamaica and the Bahamas with a great history of 50 meter, 100 meter, 200 meter, but it was Trinidad and Tobago that year. And South Korea claimed their first Olympic gold as an independent nation. So South Korea got on the board. Jung Mo at the 62 kilogram freestyle wrestling won. So
Okay.
I don't know what 62 kilograms translates to in pounds.
I have
So
no idea.
there you go on that. And then the most medals without a gold was the host nation, the Canadians.
Oh, okay.
Won 11 medals total, but did not win any gold. So no Canada in the home nation, unfortunately.
That's too bad. That's a great song.
It's a great anthem. It's as good of a national anthem as there is in the world. So, but the Canadians were the answer to that one. JR is on the board first. Oh, Ryan, thank you on the math there. The 62 kilograms translate to the 136 pound division. So I would not make that up.
Start weighing myself in kilograms.
Yeah, looks a lot better, right?
Or stones, even
too.
better than that.
JR wins. JR starts the month of August with a victory. All right, Alex, whiteboards to get us out of here for the week.
All right. I'm ready because I really like this card. So we're going to start off August the right way. We're going with the Giants and the Mets. We're going under 4 here. I think we can keep that lower scoring. We're going with the team total for the Cardinals. It is 3.5 playing against the Padres. New look bullpen, added some arms there, and have a very good pitcher going there. So I do like that one a lot too. Pavetta, if I'm not mistaken. Astros minus 120. They are on the road, but I do think that's a great price for Hunter Brown. And then Twins and Guardians under in the first 5 as well. I should have wrote first 5. So the first one and the last one are first 5 under 3.5. Joe Ryan on the bump. Then I don't trust that bullpen, but I do trust Cleveland as well to hold this Twins lineup with Gavin Williams.
There you go. That's what Alex is looking at. We were all over the Astros earlier at that minus 120 price with Hunter Brown here today. All right. That's what we got for you. That's been the week. Our NFL previews are already out for about a little less than half of the league. So be on the lookout for more coming this weekend. And today we're going to be rolling through them over the next week plus here to get them all recorded and out to you over the month of August, so you'll be fully prepared for the NFL season. And, of course, the South Point Sportsbook College Football Games of the Year live now. Come visit Chris. You can also bet these up at the Rampart as well. Mm-hmm. So Kaluch, I know, is out at. I think Kaluch has started his horse racing week plus. So,
he's at Del Mar. He's out of it.
Yeah. So visit Kaluch's staff, but you won't see Dwayne up there.
Go ask for Janine now.
Yeah, there you go. Ask for Janine up at the Rampart to bet these right now. Chris, it's a pleasure as always. Thanks for hanging with us. Always love talking football.
Absolutely.
As we know, Alex, have a good weekend and good luck.
You as
Today,
well.
start off the month of August with at least a 3-1. Let's hope for a 4-0, but let's start at least with a 3-1. Shout out to everyone who's watching us here today. We appreciate you, Ryan, Jerry, Vince, Ann, Drew Dog, and Sean, as always, our crew. Thank you as well. We're back Monday, live at 10 a.m., as always, right here on Sports by the Book, live at the South Point Hotel and Casino here in Las Vegas, Nevada.